Men don't want to marry anymore because the risk outweighs the benefits. There's a risk that comes with marriage that essentially only benefits a woman. A man marries you and can only hope that one day you don't wake up and say, I feel like I don't love you anymore and I want to leave and you can't do anything about it. According to ASA, 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Among college educated women, it jumps to 90%. You know what's crazy? I mean, a lot of us women don't have anything a man actually wants that we can bring to the table.
And fellas, do not get married.
Women are scared of happily single men. You want to know why? Let's get into it. Being happily single as a man makes you more appealing. Men that don't need to be in a relationship. Men that have high standards. Men that don't chase women. They chase in purpose. This makes women think, wonder if that man is actually interested in them, and will in turn, y'all listen to this, increase the value of that man and his expressed interest in their minds.
So in a few seconds, you realize why a lot of women are single.
So when you look at yourself, what would you say you need to improve when you're dealing with the opposite gender?
Nothing. Shit, I don't think there's any flaws. I don't really have any flaws. Nothing to improve. What I need to improve?
Yes.
Probably his timing.
What? Your timing or his timing?
His timing.
No, it's about you though.
Oh,
you need to.
improve?
Yeah, what do you need to improve?
I don't know.
You see how she jumped straight to you?
Men, do you ever wonder what women really want from you?
If you're a man and you're not protecting and providing for your female, what is it exactly that you're doing for her? Because if your answer is loving her, I'm sorry, but she can love herself.
Let's hear another take.
The guy just telling me this just the other day. My relationship's horrible and I'm such a great provider. Yeah, but all you're doing is providing stuff. She's not wanting you to provide stuff, although she does like that. She's wanting you to provide you. She wants you. She needs you. She wants you to secure her in that relationship. Not your job, not the toys, her.
So which is it? Because I'm pretty sure that men are being told constantly by women that their worth is based on what they're providing, how much money they're making. If you want them to give you more emotionally, then we have to make it safe for them to do so and not giving them these mixed messages because it's really confusing.
That's why women get burnt out and you're no longer having a relationship because you're coming home and a man is sitting on the couch because he's tired from work and you're making sure you're catering to him.
So what? So what? So what?
I don't understand. Where is the value in that?
Fellas, do not choose a woman who don't want to be a woman.
Are you delusional?
The modern day women, right there. I'm going to go to work like you. Do you want me to cook, clean? So what? Yes, you're going to cook, clean, do this and do that. And guess what? He taking the trash out. He fixing the house. He making sure this. But we have different duties, functions, and responsibilities. My wife don't want my duties. And I don't want hers. We have different responsibilities. Just because I can see you cook the food and you can't see me clean the gutters, you don't even care about that stuff, but it still need to be done. Men have different responsibilities. So all this, I cook and I clean and yeah, that's part of your function. But when your tire is flat, my function is to make sure you have a new tire.
But
when your car need an oil change, it's my job to make sure these people ain't ripping you off. We have different duties and functions and responsibilities.
Viral attention for sharing her regrets about ditching the idea of marriage and family. Now, her article in Business Insider reads, quote, "I'm 38 and single, and I recently realized I want a child. I'm terrified that I've missed my opportunity." That woman's name is Melissa Persling, and she's revealing to Fox News Digital what she thinks caused her current situation. Listen.
I feel unbelievably betrayed by feminism. I was constantly fed this idea that women can do everything. We don't really need men. Women can have the great career and have the kids that they like and change the tires and do this. I mean, I grew up thinking, and men are great, but like I can do all the same things. I do feel in many ways betrayed by that line of thinking. I kind of want to go back to some of those teachers and coaches and say, what the hell did you mean by that? Because women can't do it all. We can't.
Katrina, what are your thoughts on this?
Okay, I'm going to go deep here. So I have a lot of opinion on this, and I really think that feminism in some ways has really sabotaged women's happiness. And the reason I believe that is because we are asked to do all these different things, right? But then our nervous system goes whack. Like I know for myself, I'm in work mode and then mother mode and then family mode, right? And so your system just completely goes out of whack, which is why I truly believe, and I found this quote and I thought it was so telling, is that the divine feminine is the rawest, wildest, and most honest mirror a man will ever encounter. The awakened man opens his heart and goes to battle. He will tame his dragons and face his deepest shadows, since he knows that deep within, her heart will guide him home. And I think that there is a beautiful balance between the feminine and the masculine energy.
I already know, but I don't care. Why is it that modern feminism just promotes this idea that absolutely nothing is a woman's fault ever? Even in her own life, her own choice, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's men. It's all men. And I get these comments all the time saying like, oh, you're shaming women because they got abused, or you're shaming women because they got, you know, hurt by a man or whatever. You're shaming them like it's their fault. First of all, no, I'm not. It's not your fault that a man is evil and abusive. Okay, that's not your fault. You're not responsible for that. But you are responsible for yourself and the positions that you put yourself in. And me personally, if I was consistently choosing these absolute garbage men to date, marry, whatever it is, that are consistently abusing me, I think it's fair that you should self-reflect. Like, you can sit there all day long and go, men are horrible, men are trash, men are this. Okay, but is that helping you? Is that serving you? Is that mindset getting you anywhere? No. So instead, why don't you take a little responsibility, self-reflect, and evaluate, why is it that I keep choosing these horrible people? And then correct that. And do better for yourself and have a good life instead of whining and crying all the time that men are so horrible. Not all men are horrible. Not all women are good. But you can be good and you can make good choices. I don't know. I just feel like sitting here and telling women that nothing is their fault it's not helping anyone. It's just not. And I know there's people that are going to sit there and go, that's not what's happening. Is that what's happening with every single person in the world? No, I'm not addressing every single woman in the world. I'm addressing the ones who think this way, because there are women who think this way, and they live in my comment section. Every woman is capable of making better choices for herself. Don't be a victim. Don't waste your time sitting there blaming men for all your problems. Be smart, make good choices. You're capable. Do better for yourself.
You want to know what fucking sucks? I'll tell you what fucking sucks.
What sucks?
Shoveling a ton of gravel. That fucking sucks.
Yeah, if you got lady muscles.
The whole entire time I'm shoveling, all I'm thinking is, who the fuck are the women that wanted equal rights? The women's movement. Who wanted to do the man's work? Because I fucking didn't. I'd rather be inside making sandwiches and serving iced tea. Fuck this bullshit. I don't want to be equal. I don't want any part of being equal. I will make sandwiches. I will cook dinner. I will wear an apron. I will clean house. I'll vacuum. I'll do whatever I gotta do to keep from fucking shoveling rock. And the difference between TikTok and Facebook is, after I get this shit done, I'm gonna get on Facebook and brag about everything I accomplished and how fucking happy I am. But just know the truth. I'm pissed. I'm not happy. It doesn't make me feel good. No part of it. Don't want to do it.
I can wear pants. I can wear a top that shows most of my body, and I continue to do so because of all the women who fought for that. Women have the right.
Women didn't fight for you to walk around looking like a whore, okay? That's not what they fought for. They fought for your right to vote, their right for your education, the right for you to play a sport.
Feminism or low gas prices?
I guess low gas prices, because ever since the feminist movement, it's been a lot harder for me to find a guy to pay my bills. And all of a sudden I have to work and I have to do all these things. And I honestly don't want to work. I would rather stay in the kitchen. Mind you, I need some cooking classes, but I think I could take a couple cooking classes and make somebody really happy.
Actions matter. This is what happens. You think, oh, it's fine. They just might not open the door for us because of all the raging feminists. but you can't act out. Society does change. There is such thing as social engineering. People change their behavior. And guess what? 9 times out of 10, women end up in a really bad situation. Like, she can't get anybody to help her up. Those dudes aren't checking for her. They're not even gonna look at her. They're gonna ignore her. Yeah, we need help. I don't know. It's just like nonstop. Like, let's stop acting out and let's act correct. And at least make the perception that we're not going to perpetuate negative behaviors. Come on. Like, set an example. Like, if you do see someone acting out, make sure to, like, respond accordingly. But luckily, a woman did come, rush over and help her up. But yeah, great point.
Suck. They are so dumb. Literally, at every age, so freaking dumb. And you know what? They don't even want to change. And now the world knows it. Thanks, feminism. So why do I think it's a problem of feminism versus boys? Let's start with when they're young. Boys and girls are different, but we live in a society that doesn't seem to want to acknowledge nor nurture those differences. And when they do...
The future is female.
No. It gives me hope.
It's kind of sick.
Got detention just for flicking up a girl's skirt.
What? That's it.
Doesn't she know that's just boys being boys?
Yeah, I mean, I've already accepted that as I grow up, I'll probably be harassed and even abused.
Sorry. That's not what I meant.
I think I threw up a little. Instead of finding healthy ways to encourage the differences in boys, we have largely female faculties that don't hesitate to tell them to sit down, sit still, pay attention, or it's the ADHD pills for you. It's like we want them to be girls. Well, and then they get to college. Well, why even go to college at all?
Men attending colleges has dropped to 40% in the past academic year.
Men aren't even welcomed there. The very broad brush of feminism has painted every guy on campus as an evil participant of rape culture and the misogynistic patriarchy that's trying to keep women down. By teaching women to climb the corporate ladder and to date without intention, why do some women have such an obsession with being on top? Families aren't being created. Families in which both mother and father are present. And then, having removed the male influence, they turn around and blame men for the problematic men that they've created. I'll let the man who said it best say it again.
You give them this message that it's okay to be a man.
It's not okay. It's necessary. What the hell are we going to do with
Modern women are expressing regret about certain aspects of feminism, as the emphasis on career and independence has left them feeling unfulfilled in their personal relationships and family lives. The pursuit of career success and independence can make it difficult to find a committed partner, and the devaluation of traditional family roles has been a concern. The concept of sexual liberation has led to more men opting for casual relationships instead of commitment, forcing women to search for partners who want to start families. This has led to feelings of loneliness, regret, and anxiety about their biological clocks, prompting a reevaluation of feminism's meaning in today's world.
What would our world look like without sons, brothers, fathers, husbands, and uncles? It has taken raising sons for me to realize how toxic society can be towards men. Oh, the good ones are taken. The future is female, or men need to behave, are constantly tossed around, cloaked in feminism or equality. But why is this okay? Simply being female doesn't make you better than a man. Men do not deserve to bear the brunt of another man's actions any more than female. Men do not deserve to be judged by their gender, just like women. The future is female doesn't even make any sense. I'm blessed to have had quite a few good ones in my life, role models I know my sons will learn from, but that's not to say I haven't known a few bad apples. I just don't allow those experiences to define half of the human race. If you think along the lines of men need to behave, the future is female, or the good ones are taken, maybe ask yourself why you deserve one of the good ones when you make no room for positive
If I was a man, and I'm not a man, but if I was a man, I wouldn't hire a woman. I wouldn't do it. And I say it all the time, and I say that, and that is something that women need to consider when they're talking about this stuff. When you are saying that a man complimenting you and saying, I really like your outfit today, is a form of sexism. What is if you're a man, why hire a woman, right? So you fought all this time to be able to get into the workforce, only to say these are going to be the rules. You know, if you say anything, even if you compliment me, if you look at me, anything, I'm going to have a reason to fight you. And by the way, you're going to want to settle and pay me because even just the stain of an accusation is enough to ruin men. So if you're a guy, right, in this society, in this Me Too environment, in this litigation-rich environment of misogyny and sexism and all of these claims, what is the value add? What's the risk? You know, the benefit and the risk. I can't do the analysis and say, I'd just be like, no, I'm just not hiring anyone. Give me all the men.
A day in my life getting laid off at Google. So I woke up to this really ominous text from my boss, and I honestly had no idea what it was going to be about. So I called her the minute I woke up and saw this, and she told me to check the news and my email. So I rushed downstairs to find out that I had lost access to basically everything. I couldn't log into my email or even check my calendar. I called my boss back, and we just sobbed over the phone because she was also finding out about my layoff for the first time today too. I started getting calls from a bunch of my coworkers and started finding out who else was let go on my team and some neighboring teams as well. But I think the worst part is that it seems like no one was consulted on this decision and everyone was just finding out about the layoffs at the same time. It just felt like a really bad game of Russian roulette, and there was no consistency around who was let go. It was also not performance-based, so it just felt really random. I opened up LinkedIn, which honestly was not great for my mental health. There were so many people who were in the same boat that were both equally as shocked and blindsided, but it did help me feel a little less alone. Honestly, I spent so much of the day crying.
And as of today, then you're going to part ways.
I think I'm about to get fired. I've been having some issues with this company for quite a while. I couldn't come into the office today because I had a really bad migraine, and I told her, you know, I can log on later if I'm feeling up to it. I just am not feeling good. And now all of a sudden she scheduled a discussion in 10 minutes on Google Meet, and I believe I'm getting fired. I hate working at this company, so it's not like I knew I was going to get fired eventually. They are not willing to work with my accommodation whatsoever. I have some mental issues that they are refusing to help with. Some of the things that they have said to me, I've just been full-blown disgusted with. I'm almost considering seeking legal advice because I really don't know what to do. Like, my heart is pounding. I'm so pissed. I'm totally getting fired. That's cool.
Me Too was one of the biggest feminist mistakes in history, and that's an astonishing accomplishment considering how long that list of mistakes is. But now we're starting to see a change in society. It's a change that feminists did not predict and definitely did not want. Women are starting to be passed over for promotions, their resumes thrown into the trash, and in some cases, fired completely from their jobs. Modern women will try to cry the victim as they do in so many other arenas.
If I was a man, and I'm not a man, but if I was a man, I wouldn't hire a woman. I wouldn't do it. And I say it all the time, and I say that, and that is something that women need to consider when they're talking about this stuff. When you are saying that a man complimenting you and saying, I really like your outfit today, is a form of sexism. If you're a man, why hire a woman, right? So you fought all this time to be able to get into the workforce, only to say these are going to be the rules. You know, if you say anything, even if you compliment me, if you look at me, anything, I'm going to have a reason to fight you. And by the way, you're going to want to settle and pay me because even just the stain of an accusation is enough to ruin men. So if you're a guy, right, in this society, in this Me Too environment, in this litigation-rich environment of misogyny and sexism and all of these claims, what is the value add? What's the risk? You know, the benefit and the risk. I can't do the analysis and say, I'd just be like, no, I'm just not hiring anyone. Give me all the men.
A day in my life getting laid off at Google. So I woke up to this really ominous text from my boss, and I honestly had no idea what it was going to be about. So I called her the minute I woke up and saw this, and she told me to check the news and my email. So I rushed downstairs to find out that I had lost access to basically everything. I couldn't log into my email or even check my calendar. I called my boss back, and we just sobbed over the phone because she was also finding out about my layoff for the first time today too. I started getting calls from a bunch of my coworkers and started finding out who else was let go on my team and some neighboring teams as well. But I think the worst part is that it seems like no one was consulted on this decision and everyone was just finding out about the layoffs at the same time. It just felt like a really bad game of Russian roulette, and there was no consistency around who was let go. It was also not performance-based, so it just felt really random. I opened up LinkedIn, which honestly was not great for my mental health. There were so many people who were in the same boat that were both equally as shocked and blindsided, but it did help me feel a little less alone. Honestly, I spent so much of the day crying.
And as of today, then you're going to part ways.
I think I'm about to get fired. I've been having some issues with this company for quite a while. I couldn't come into the office today because I had a really bad migraine, and I told her, you know, I can log on later if I'm feeling up to it. I just am not feeling good. And now all of a sudden she scheduled a discussion in 10 minutes on Google Meet, and I believe I'm getting fired. I hate working at this company, so it's not like I knew I was going to get fired eventually. They are not willing to work with my accommodation whatsoever. I have some mental issues that they are refusing to help with. Some of the things that they have said to me I've just been full-blown disgusted with. I'm almost considering seeking legal advice because I really don't know what to do. Like, my heart is pounding. I'm so pissed. I'm totally getting fired. That's cool.
Me Too was one of the biggest feminist mistakes in history, and that's an astonishing accomplishment considering how long that list of mistakes is. But now we're starting to see a change in society. It's a change that feminists did not predict and definitely did not want. Women are starting to be passed over for promotions, their resumes thrown into the trash, and in some cases, fired completely from their jobs. Modern women will try to cry the victim as they do in so many other arenas.
The traditional notion of men defending women is being challenged in favor of gender equality, with some advocating for shared responsibility regardless of gender. The decision to tie one's tubes is a complex social and emotional decision, particularly for women. Men's dating behavior is also evolving, with traditional gender roles being discarded and a more fluid approach to courtship and relationships. Men are now encouraged to be more vulnerable and emotional open, shedding stereotypes of stoicism and dominance. This shift towards shared responsibility and vulnerability is amidst the unpredictable landscape of modern relationships.
Harvey Weinstein is a monster. But the positive aspects of the movement quickly fell off a cliff, and before you know it, the unintended consequences started to rear their ugly heads. The movement spiraled out of control, and suddenly, men started being accused of sexual harassment and abuse constantly without any need for evidence. This allowed the most toxic women in our society to step in and take full advantage of this for their own gain. And before the feminists respond to this by saying that almost never happens, let me point out something that you're almost not going to believe. There was even a book written by a woman teaching other women how to take advantage of the Me Too movement to destroy the men they don't like and gain power for themselves. The book was called How to Destroy a Man, and it gained a significant readership a few years ago. This book was basic training in how to destroy a man's life through false allegations. How can you possibly argue that this isn't an issue when
with you? And so I'm going to actually drop from the call now and hand it over to Danny from HR. So
we'll answer everything, the questions that you may have after the meeting. Is there anything that I can answer for you at the moment?
I honestly do not know. This is not planned or expected, so I honestly am very off base. So no, if once you send me the package, will that be the email to answer and to ask any questions on?
Yes, and take your time. I know this is a lot. And,
it sucks. Not gonna lie, really sucks because I talked to yesterday. So real. I know you don't hold any of the blame. Real.
Time and review the information that we send over to you, and be happy to help in any way we can.
Okay. So does it mean that I shut this computer off and be done? Or am I expected to answer more emails after this?
You have no more expectations.
Great. Love that for me. Thank you so much.
The girl that he would have chose when he was a brokey is not going to be the same girl he's going to choose whenever he's up.
There's an element of truth to that, but what I will say is that typically if a girl helped a guy build
and she was by his side and she was loyal, men appreciate that type of stuff.
We would like to think so, but that more than likely it's that they don't.
Yeah,
As soon
it's
as they
actually the
touch a little
opposite.
bit of money, they get their confidence up. They don't care. They'll say, I didn't ask you to.
The thing with that is guys aren't going to commit to girls that have an open sexual situation going on. So like, no offense to you, but like, you're on OnlyFans. So for a guy, right, to commit to you is going to be, even if you build him up and everything else like that, your profession and your status hurts his profession and status.
I find it a little icky when there's an older man dating a super young woman. It seems a little weird.
It gives you the ick?
It does, yes. It gives me the ick.
It says give me that ick.
It gives me the ick. Like I said,
So it's fine if they have casual and never talk again.
if they're just hooking up, that's their right as consenting adults. Where I get concerned is when the older man is trying to like look at this person as like their wife, and this poor girl who's like 21 years old has not even experienced any life in any way, shape, or form. That's just not going to work out well. That's just my opinion.
Wait, hold on. So just to be clear, less predatory, less bad if the guy her and never talks to her again. But when the guy wants something a bit more serious, that's where you have a bit more of an issue.
I think that them trying to date long term and like her become a wife at 21 years old to somebody who is double or triple her age is creepy.
When women leave you for whatever reason, they go out there, they experience, right? They experience things. They'll be like, oh, I miss you. It's not even that they miss you. It's just that A, I want to see if you stupid, or B, I couldn't replace you, or I'm tired of getting fucked and tossed. And these guys are treating me like a slut. I wanted to be a slut, but I don't want to be a slut forever. When I get done fucking and sucking and being a hoe, after I give my sexual best to everybody else, can you treat me like the queen that you used to treat me? This is why they come back to you. It ain't got nothing to do with no fucking contact. I gave her space and all that, and I want to drill that in your head. You should walk away from a woman who views you like that, who don't respect you. Walk away, game over. There's nothing to think about. There's nothing to talk about. This shit is over with because she has no respect for you. And when a woman don't respect you, she can't love you. She clearly has no respect for you just from even coming and trying you like that.
Modern feminism has significantly impacted dating and relationships, challenging traditional gender roles and empowering individuals. Single mothers face unique challenges in balancing parenting with dating, often facing outdated societal judgments. Despite this, many defy stereotypes and find meaningful connections. Examining the intersections of feminism, dating behaviors, and personal experiences reveals how societal norms and individual choices interact, encouraging greater understanding and empathy in relationships. And that concludes today's discussion on MGTOW Voice. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on future videos. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video.